If you blend oil and water together and leave the jar on the counter, physics takes over. Within minutes, the liquids will separate. For the modern food industry, this natural separation is a massive cosmetic problem. A salad dressing that splits, or peanut butter with a pool of oil on top, is perceived by the consumer as spoiled. To solve this, food chemists rely on emulsifiers, molecules that force oil and water to coexist. Additives like polysorbate 80, carboxymethylcellulose, and soy lecithin make our food incredibly smooth and shelf-stable. But today, we look at the clinical data showing what these industrial emulsifiers do once they reach the human colon. To understand the danger, you must understand the molecule. And an emulsifier is an amphiphilic molecule. This means it has two distinct ends, a hydrophilic head that loves water and a lipophilic tail that loves fat. When added to food, the emulsifier acts as a chemical bridge. It grabs a fat droplet with one hand and a water droplet with the other, binding them together permanently. This is exactly how dish soap works. When you put dish soap on a greasy pan, the soap emulsifies the fat, allowing it to be washed away by the water. Now, we must look at the anatomy of your gut. Your intestinal tract is a hollow tube lined with a single layer of epithelial cells. These cells are the only thing separating the contents of your digestive tract from your bloodstream. To protect these vulnerable cells from the trillions of bacteria living inside you, your body secretes a thick, dense layer of mucus. This mucosal barrier is your biological armor. In a healthy gut, the bacteria live on top of the mucus, safely kept at a distance from the cell wall. What happens when you consume highly processed emulsifiers like polysorbate 80? They don't stop emulsifying just because you swallowed them. When these chemicals reach your colon, they act exactly like dish soap on a greasy pan. The mucosal barrier is primarily composed of glycoproteins and lipids, or fats. The emulsifiers chemically scrub away this protective mucus layer, thinning it out and destroying its structural integrity. You are essentially washing away your biological armor. Once the mucus layer is eroded, the trillions of gut bacteria, both good and bad, now have direct physical contact with the vulnerable epithelial cells lining your intestine. The immune system surrounding your gut detects these bacteria touching the cell wall and instantly recognizes a breach. It triggers a massive systemic inflammatory response. Furthermore, this localized inflammation damages the tight junctions between the cells, allowing endotoxins to slip through the gaps and enter the bloodstream. A condition known as metabolic endotoxemia, or leaky gut. Recent studies in Nature demonstrate that feeding low concentrations of polysorbate 80 to mice directly induced low-grade inflammation, obesity, and metabolic syndrome by this exact mechanism. Real food separates. Real food is physically unstable. When we demand that our food perfectly defies the laws of physics to sit smoothly on a shelf for a year, we pay the price with our internal biology. Choose the salad dressing you have to shake.